Ostroj koraku, tu, hoj!
Good morning. Normally in the afternoon we like to do a Swedish tradition that is fika, and having sweets and a drink with people and relaxing in the afternoon. But here in Croatia they have something called Špica.
And this is only on Saturday?
That's my understanding.
Okay.
I would imagine nobody would turn you down for coming in and getting a coffee on any other day of the week. But Špica is where you go out, you have a coffee, and you just people watch on Saturday mornings.
And they've got these streets that are just like lined with outdoor cafes. And there's quite a few people out here doing this right now. Just like sitting, drinking some coffee, and enjoying the like ridiculously good weather that we're having right now.
Yeah, this stupid good weather.
So we have just randomly picked a little cafe. And Katie just got a normal coffee, right? Is this coffee?
Yeah.
Like Americano or something? Is that how you ordered it?
Yeah.
And then I ordered a white coffee, and I don't really 100% know what this is, but I think it's just a lot of milk and then some coffee. So I think basically I just ordered like
I think it
milk.
might be whole milk.
Oh, maybe.
So sometimes they do skim milk. That is my idea. I could totally be wrong about that.
This one looks like they put a little bit of chocolate and foam and stuff like on the top of it.
It could just be coffee.
And I don't know if you noticed, but I got 2 straws.
2 straws.
I don't know why.
For friendship.
Yeah, I mean, it's all right.
Yeah, I'd say whole milk and
coffee.
coffee. I don't taste any chocolate.
And we also have a couple of pastries. And Katie brought me this pastry. I don't know what this pastry is. And she said she just wants to see me bite into it without knowing anything about it at all.
Yeah.
So I like it. It's kind of heavy. It's a nice like looking dough. It's got something leaking out the back end. Like
It looks like a squid to me.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
the top
yeah,
of a squid.
Yeah. Okay. So
It was the scariest one there.
I'm gonna go into the back end and just see what happens. Okay.
All right. Good luck. There's your chocolate.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good
It's just
chocolate.
chocolate.
It's just a chocolate. It's just a chocolate cream.
And
Not bad.
I read about these lovely little pastries that they have that are filled with either meat or with spinach and ricotta or some type of cheese. We had one yesterday and I kind of fell in love with it. So I found a gigantic one at the store.
Is this one spinach or?
It is spinach.
It is spinach, yeah. And
Or
it's
just cheese.
It's very flaky, like a croissant or something like that. And yeah, this one just looks like it's cheese.
Yeah, just cheese. You don't need no greens?
I like bread.
That it's not as amazing as yesterday's, but it's got that greasy, bit of a Taco Bell feel going on right now.
It doesn't taste like Taco Bell at all, it just feels like it.
Yeah, it's got that quality.
That's a weird thing to find somewhere like this.
And another thing that I'm kind of interested in is I just rolled up to a bakery, bought a whole bunch of stuff, and we brought it over to this little cafe. Are they going to tell us that we're not allowed to have it?
But we've noticed that, like when we first got here, the lady that's like we're staying at her Airbnb, she was like, yeah, just get a bread from one place and a coffee from another and just eat them together, no problem. And like we've noticed when we're walking around, a lot of people seem to have done the same thing. So it's okay to bring food from a different place to a coffee place.
At least that's what we're hoping for.
Yeah, I mean, it's seemingly okay. We've been told it's okay, and I've seen other people doing it, and the lady hasn't yelled at us yet. So.
She hasn't yelled.
Nope.
Yeah, so.
Maybe she's just really nice.
Or we've got the foreigner thing going on. Well, Špica.
Špica.
And we might be the ones being watched.
We have a new friend.
Yeah. Yesterday at the Museum of Broken Relationships, I used the bathroom. And the door to the bathroom was a sliding door. And the lock on it was completely broken. Like, it was gone. And it has to have been gone for some time now because it didn't seem like that was a problem at all to anybody else. I had somebody walk in on me because the door was broken, and I thought, it's a museum of broken relationships. Just kind of seems like, okay, it's just a broken bathroom door. Today we're at our Špica cafe, and I went into the bathroom. In the first toilet stall that I went into, it had another sliding door. Again, there was no lock. Not even like a broken one, just no lock. And on each side of the sliding door, there's large enough gaps for you to tell there's someone inside and to look at them on both sides. This door is not big enough to cover the opening that is for the bathroom. So I said, all right, screw this, I'm going to the other toilet stall. I went in there. These doors close like this, and there is a latch that closes across the doors, but there's a gigantic gap in the middle of the door. But every bathroom in there, if I went to the bathroom, I could make eye contact with somebody if they came in. What? Is this a Croatian thing? Like, bathrooms are not private? And not even like to the point that they're lockable?
You just get some bathroom buddies.
I'm gonna have some bathroom buddies. We're gonna have some strong eye contact while I'm taking a poo.
Just for the record, the men's room has just got a normal door that you close, and you don't get to see anybody when you go in. We've just stumbled across something really cool. We walked down this little alleyway and we saw this big globe thing, like this big golden ball. And we were like, what is the big golden ball? And so we looked on Google Maps, and then I clicked on it, and then I clicked on reviews, and somebody has explained in English what the big golden ball is. And it actually is called the grounded sun, and it is the first part of a installation of a scale model of the solar system that's in Zagreb. So this is in size 1 to 680 millionth set scale, I guess is how you would say that. And then if you look on a map, you can find out there's a Mercury nearby, and then there is all the other planets following that. So I think we're going to go on a little scavenger hunt here.
I've charted it all out on Google Maps. The inner planets seem pretty easily attainable, but the further out ones, such as Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, could be a bit of a stretch for one day, especially if we want to do some stuff this evening. So we're going to go and see what we can do. Find some planets.
We've now walked 1/680 millionth of the distance between the Sun and Mercury to a little area, and it took like 2 minutes. And Katie has found Mercury.
It's teeny tiny, and people say that light years are really like far apart. Pretty short. We crossed the tram tracks, and now we are trying to find Venus. It's only been like a 2-minute walk. It's a little bit bigger, right? I mean, that other one was like boop, a little Mercury, so maybe we're talking about marble size? Marble?
Maybe.
Okay. Looking for a marble.
We found Venus. It's a little bit higher up, and it's a little bit bigger than the Mercury, obviously, because Venus itself is a little bit bigger, and this is supposedly all built to scale. We guessed about the size of a marble. It's about the size of a marble. We're on the hunt for Earth, and I already found it. It's kind of back here, over here. But I found something else that, while you're on the hunt for Earth, if you find, is kind of interesting, and Katie hasn't seen this yet. So I'd like you to turn around now.
Oh, I had seen it.
Oh,
Yeah,
did
I was
you?
reading it from afar, and I was like, it doesn't say that. Yeah, that does seem kind of strange that Earth isn't across the street from Mercury.
But it is. See the plaque?
Oh, yeah.
So you remember we were standing next to the sun, and you were standing next to it, and it was still towering above you?
Yeah.
That's how big the sun is if the Earth was like this size, and like...
How big would I be on there?
Yeah, you like... Do you feel
Real small.
Yeah, you feel small right now?
I'd be smaller than an ant. I'd be smaller than a flea. I'd be smaller than an atom, maybe. I don't know how big an atom is. It's small.
We walked over and we found Mars, but it's kind of not accessible at the moment because this girl with like the plaid jacket or shirt on, it's like on the wall behind her, and they're having their Špica. So I'm not going to bust up in their party just to rub a little bit of Mars.
Yeah.
And this is
I find that kind of surprising considering all the other ones were
accessible,
but they were kind of in not restaurant-y areas. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like restaurants are maxing out as much as they can here. We're going to put lots of tables out into the street as far as possible, so that's kind of understandable from the restaurant point of view. From the Mars point of view, I'm trying to touch that Mars.
This is the last one we're doing today, right?
Yeah.
And the reason is because apparently once you get outside of the first 4 planets, it starts to get quite vast in the distances you have to travel to get to places, even at this scale.
Yeah.
And
I think
from
here to Jupiter's probably an hour walk.
Yeah.
And then once you try to do
Saturn, right? Saturn's next? Jupiter's next? Jupiter's next, yeah. My very favorite, yeah.
So then Jupiter's actually quite close to our apartment, so we're kind of looping that in.
Yeah.
And I think that we'll even spill into a third day on this, because to go from Neptune to Pluto at this scale
it's like a
is
3-hour
a 3-hour walk. So we're possibly going to rent a car, and we might make that something that we do in the car. You need a ship to get to these places. So those are our ideas on that. I don't know how well they'll work out, but we've become those small little astronauts.
This is an amazing thing. It's like I feel the same way about geocaching, where it's not necessarily about finding the things, even though that part is fun. It's about you get to walk through areas you otherwise may not ever go to see,
you know,
and just get to explore them. It's so
not even
cool.
about exploring to me. It's the fact that someone did it.
You just like
Someone
that?
did this, and I think it's really, really cool that somebody was just like, I have this idea, let's do it. And I kind of feel the same way about that Museum of Broken Relationships. It's just people kind of doing things.
It's a good idea.
And maybe that's what Croatians are doing. They're just doing things. They get an idea and they just go with it. And I like that. I want to find all the planets, and hopefully we can get the vehicles to do that.
And also Pluto.
Yeah.
Remember, no planet.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? You think Pluto's a planet?
I know why it's not, and I know that to me it is. It's like, it'll always be Burma to me.
Zagreb is killing it on their statue game. This guy is slaying a dragon. What have we got going on here? We've got like westerns, sexy ladies, and then
Garfield?
Garfield? What's that all about? We've come to a vegetarian organic style restaurant that usually is kind of expensive, but this place seems to be like, you know, fairly priced. And I think the main reason that Katie wanted to come over here is because she's been craving vegetables. And when we were in Venice last week, it's like there's no vegetables. Like you get like a eggplant on a pizza, and that's like your vegetables. But like here, you can come, you can get like a whole bowl of wok vegetables, which is fairly enticing. We've got carrots and it looks like zucchini in here. It tastes like what you expect, but maybe there's like a little bit of like maybe soy or something like that. Soy sauce is mixed into it because it's got a bit of like you know, that Asian zing, that Asian flavor that you would get out of like something that was from Asia in wok cooked. So that's pretty good. We've also got a kidney bean soup, and I hope I didn't take my ghost neighbor's weapons. And it looks like this has got tofu in it. I'm guessing that's what that is, because probably not a hot dog. And
It looks way heartier than I thought it was going to look, and it also is quite a big portion.
it's hearty. The flavor is very good. I really kind of wish I ate less meat. I don't feel like I eat a tremendous amount or anything, but I've like tried to steer myself away from it. And like a lot of times tofu is that replacement. I just personally don't get down on the texture of tofu 9 times out of 10. And the flavor is awesome. I personally am not a fan of the tofu.
The next dish then I think is going to be interesting for you to see the difference between tofu and tempeh.
Tempeh?
Tempeh. I think that's how you say
we're
it.
saying that right. And
I don't really know what it's made out of at all.
yeah, so the last dish is, they call it a mega protein, and it's got a big line of what I think, this one is tofu, I assume?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so I'm gonna try a bite. Oh damn, the sauce though. There's that barbecue sauce on there. Ooh, that's really good. But yeah, that's gotta be tofu. And then next to it in the line is a circular guy, and we think this is tempeh, T-E-M-P-H, I think?
P-E-H.
P-E-H, yeah. I'm not clear if I'm saying that right, but it's something that I've seen on vegetarian menus a lot. And from a look, it looks it looks like a rice cake.
Looks like a hash brown to me.
A hash brown, yeah. Okay. I like that better than tofu. It's got almost like a nutty taste, and it's got a little bit of a crunch to it. I could have like a burger made out of that or something. I can go down with that. Not bad.
You know how sometimes you think the internet is just following you around? Earlier today, we put up a message saying that the upload speeds in Europe are pretty terrible, and we've been having some really bad ones lately. We got a message back about you should use T-Mobile. We've walked into the city center of Zagreb and noticed that T-Mobile is now throwing a gigantic concert. T-Mobile, you creeping on us? This is weird. Good morning. We are off and walking and looking for Jupiter.
This isn't something you normally find. We found like a bunch of x-rays on the ground. This one looks like it's somebody's rib. Saw a foot. Could build a person out of these, like a picture.
X-rays are never about good news. Well, I guess you could get news that things are okay, but
Yeah.
it's never better than okay. You never get an x-ray and go, you have a superpower. You're doing really weller than all the others. That's never true. So I feel like this is just bad news that somebody threw away.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. You do get some good news sometimes. Like, oh, well, we thought you had a cavity, but you don't. Like, oh, great. That's good news.
Fantastic.
But it's not like
but
oh,
my
have...
tooth didn't improve.
Yeah, it's not like it now drips like gold. It doesn't, nothing like that's
have a gold deposit in there. We'll do some drilling. Jupiter's a lot bigger than all the others, so it was very easy to spot. And from Mars to Jupiter, a huge amount of space. And here in Zagreb, we've gone from the city center to a very residential area. There are no tourist spots up here other than this Jupiter, I think.
How far is it to the next planet?
2.4 minus 1.3 is 1.1. Yeah.
1.1 what?
Kilometers. To
okay.
Yeah. So we've got about maybe a 20-minute walk to Saturn. We found Saturn. Also in a very residential area. It's just chilling there. I don't know what else to say about Saturn.
How far to Uranus?
It's not very far.
I've just been informed that Neptune is next. Do you know how far, are we walking there now, or are we saving that for if we get a car?
That's gonna be a car situation. I'm
Wow.
typing it in now.
That's crazy.
It's 5 kilometers away from here.
From here.
But that's because you got to think about the orbits and things like that. And necessarily, this isn't like, none of these are in a linear order. They're just not. They're spread out within the city, and you have to think about the fact that they'd be orbiting in different areas. So
You have to double back sometimes, basically.
Yeah,
So
we walked past the sun in the middle of the city a couple of
Yeah.
times. So yeah, Neptune is not going to happen today because we don't have wheels, and you need wheels. We also realized that Neptune is not the next planet. I feel very foolish. I had even
asking you about Uranus. I knew what I was talking about.
He did know that about my. Wait, no. Zagreb has a tram system that goes throughout the city and kind of into the outskirts of the city. I think that's where we're going today, is a little bit into the outskirts. And most of it, I assume, is electrically run. I haven't seen any real buses or anything. Everybody's just up on this tram. And we've gotten up on the tram. And we found kind of a problem. There are these little boxes on here, and we don't know what we can do with these boxes. We read on the internet before we got on that you can pay the driver. So we went to the bus stop and we got on, or to the tram stop, and we got on, and the driver is encased in a plastic box. You cannot talk to the driver. So we can't pay the driver, and we see these little bots. They're only for contactless payment, and we don't have that. So I've got my payment, and I don't really know who to give it to. Huh.
It seems that since that internet post we found, I actually read it on like something that was referenced by the Transportation Network's website too.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't just some slug. So they haven't updated it, or maybe I found something old that, you know, indicated you could just pay the driver, but you could definitely not pay the driver on there.
Yeah.
And the only way you can pay is with a contactless card. And at one point we saw a lady go in with like a paper ticket that she somehow got and stuck it in, and it sounded like it stamped it or punched a hole or something.
But where did she get that?
Where did she get the paper ticket? Because at the little stands there is no people. There's nothing. It's just like a bus stand.
We were surprised that we found like a map at the tram station.
Yeah. So maybe at the major transportation network areas you can buy like a little pass or something like that. They can do it. I feel a little weird having not paid, but I mean, we stood there with money in our hands, kind of in a way hoping somebody would come and be like, oh, that's going to be like 4 kroners or whatever. I know it's not kroners, it's a joke, but I don't even know what it is. It's case. Kuna, yeah. So...
Do you know where we are? Do you know what we're doing?
I think we're going to a market. Am I right about that?
Okay, you're doing good.
Yeah, you mentioned that to me. And it's going to be a bit of a walk.
Yeah, we got about 20 to 30 minutes of a walk from here.
It's supposed to be a huge market, right?
Yeah, the biggest in Croatia.
And the tram doesn't go there. That's interesting.
Yeah, the tram goes here, and
Well,
then you get off.
So the tickets, by the way, they're like $1 a piece, basically, right?
Yeah, a little under.
So it's not like a ridiculous amount of money. Like we were hoping that we could give somebody our $1. It's weird. I don't know. I feel weird about this.
Find another way to give the $1 to the country.
Our 20-minute walk to the market has turned into a 40-minute walk because Google had routed us through a
military base. Yeah,
military base, and like we were like, this doesn't look right. So Katie went and asked the guard, and he was like, this isn't right. You can't do that.
Go around.
Go around. So around we go. We noticed a bunch of people walking in a way that is no roads, but it looks like they're going in the direction of the market. So we're shaving 5 minutes off the extra 20 minutes we put on by making the mistake of trying to go through the...
Way more than that.
Oh, you think we're saving 6 or 7 minutes?
I'm gonna say possibly 7 minutes. That walking will make you tired. I am pooped.
We got to the market, and it is like a flea market in the greatest sense of the flea market, maybe even emphasis on the fleas. And it's got a wide variety of things. There's like car parts and like busted up old cell phones, and people are buying clothes here, and
we're pretending that we are furnishing our new apartment. We've already chosen some art, but other than that, we needed to take a break and get some food. It's like when you go to IKEA, you gotta have the meatballs before you shop and then the ice cream at the end.
So you don't kill each other?
Yeah.
This is, it seems like it's kind of winding down already, actually. It's like 1 o'clock now. This goes until 3, but it started at 7. There was no chance we were going to get here like super early, and we're not shopping. We're just here to see what the environment is like. And like, it's flea market in the sense of like people are just pulling their cars up and opening their trunk and then putting their trunk stuff on the ground on a tarp. Like, it's like not like a market. Like a market, it's like a flea market, isn't like flea market. And in addition to all that, they've got these little shacks that are set up, and they're restaurants, and it looks like it's the same people probably making food every weekend. And a lot of them are serving something very similar, and it's like this stewing pot of meat and like some bread on the side, and it looks really interesting and scary at the same time.
I walked up and the lady basically laid out like how the different kinds of meat that they had. None of the meats really looked that interesting to me, so I decided whatever this bean concoction is, and we think it's like a bean salad.
Yeah.
I went with that.
And then they also have like a grilled Lebanese bread that we picked up. And this whole thing was like $2 or something like that. Yeah,
less
it's like
than
$2 USD, so it's really, really cheap. And
this is fantastic.
Is it really?
It's very oniony.
Okay. What if you dip some of the bread into it? That's what
yeah. You don't even have to think of. I didn't even think about that. That was a must.
And is this like a pita style bread or?
It is not a pita style bread.
Okay, it looks
I
like,
don't
it looks
know.
like a thicker, normal style bread. Let me hit some of that.
A
That's
little
what
bit chewy,
I'm most
a little
excited
bit
of.
buttery, and just good.
The meat is plentiful, but if I eat that, it's gonna make my stomach explode. Like, I'm not gonna be able to cope with all that friedness and like heavy fats and stuff
Yeah.
they're gonna have on that.
I saw one type of meat that I was interested in, but it was at a different stall. And this lady was really nice. Like, she walked up. She walked up to me and was like, "Do you speak German?" In German. And I was like, "No, I don't
sorry.
speak German." And she was just really nice, so I decided to come back to her place because I figured if she's willing to jump off the edge with me, we'll find something to eat with her.
Totally.
So this is what the end of the world feels like. I definitely very much am pretending that there is nothing past this. All the cities have been obliterated and we're just here with what we had left. And people are bartering for things and just trying to make ends meet, and that's how it feels. Completely how it feels.
A lot of people, instead of packing up their cars with all their leftover stuff, have just left it. So there's these big piles of clothes and stuff, and then there's a bunch of people just digging through it and taking whatever it is they wanted.
Yeah, if I lived here, I would be one of those people.
You'd be looking for the gold?
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't be looking for the gold. I'd be looking for the things I like.
That's the gold, son.
No, it's not always the gold, because I know it's not the gold, because I like some stuff that is not gold. I just want it.
Why'd you look at me?
I'm not looking at you. I'm wondering, like, what's your reaction to that? Because I'm gonna bring home, like, some terrible things.
I think as long as you bring home that painting of the naked lady that we saw earlier, it's all right.
The one with the black dude or the one with just the naked lady?
Whatever. We walked over to a bus station that's gonna take us back into the city instead of taking the tram, and in this instance you can like talk to a driver, and we were like two people and he was like, all right, and we handed him like
Exact change. And now we are legitimate riders.
Yeah, and he has the same machine that they have on the trams. And this is the ticket that I saw somebody put into one of the machines when they got on the tram. So the assumption is that that person had bought a ticket on the bus, and you can use it for a transfer. You can stay within the network, the transportation network, which includes the trams and the buses. It's all the same company. So that's how that person got a ticket, but I don't know how a person just walking onto a tram off the street gets a ticket. It's all a mystery still.
Yeah.
The sport in Croatia is basketball. So we've come to a basketball game, and it was like $4 per person or something like that.
Yeah.
Was it like that? To come in here and see like a professional basketball game. And
It's my first.
we're at a game that is between two teams from the capital city here. One of them is really highly ranked and has like the highest championships ever in their entire country. And the other team is like a newer team to the upper league. And that's who we've decided to root for based on the fact that their webpage is navigatable and the other webpage is like old and like 1996 style.
Yeah.
So we've decided we're going for the lower ranked team just because we can understand their website and find out about their players and
I think it said Cedevita.
Is that the name of it?
Yeah, that's the name of the team.
Yeah, and the other team is the
Cibona.
yeah.
Yeah, so we're Cedevita fans.
Yeah, that's what we're going with.
Nice webpage.
At the halfway point, our team is up by 4 points. Our underdogs might take it. They can keep that 4-point lead. And they do the cutest thing in the world where they let some kids come, like elementary age kids came out and played a game during the halftime.
It's really adorable.
It's pretty adorable. At one point, the guy made the kid stop and tie his shoe.
And then he also went up behind another one and was like pushing their arms up, like get in there, you know, like coaching them, obviously still while they're out there kind of in front of everyone. So I don't know if I could do that, but
Do that as a kid or as would you be embarrassed? He did kind of look at him like, what is happening?
crap.
Why am I flapping my arms?
Yeah. Cibona, you're gonna need to update that shitty webpage of yours for that loss that you had to my team. mean?
They won by 8 points, right?
Yeah.
So it was like 71 to 79,
Yeah.
I guess, right? Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And it was cool because like you get to see a basketball game that was like up close without dropping like a ton of money. So you got to see the action up close and
$4
everything.
and I got to hear all the squeaks and like high definition. I know that there was no definition there, but it was like those squeaks were real squeaks. Talking about the shoes and basketball sounds. Squeak, 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 squeak.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd go to another basketball game.
I would totally
I'm not
go
a
to
big
another
sports person,
basketball
but I kind of enjoy watching basketball because it's like fast paced and there's always something going on. And
Yeah.
like, I don't know. This
And
is
I'm
something
over there
energetic.
just doing some shit talking. These are my guys. Yeah. I booked our accommodation in Zagreb through booking.com, but it's for an apartment. So it's kind of like Airbnb, but through booking.com, which is a little less personal and a little more, is this gonna work? Because it just feels like you're using one medium to do something that another one does really well. So it's kind of a weird situation. Anywho, I booked this place through booking.com, and at 9 o'clock at night, after we've ridden the bus for hours and hours, we ended up at this location. Shit looks a bit ghetto. So we were wondering, like, are we in the right place? And there was no one here to meet us. I rang the doorbell for the apartment and nobody was here. But moments later, a girl drove up and this was our place. And good news, upstairs is nice. Outside doesn't necessarily tell you what's inside.
Open up, y'all.
It's a really cool little peeker that they have here. I didn't see that in other doors. All the doors in the building are completely different. This one is different than any other.
It
And
is
it's very
strange.
cool.
Like, look at this. Like, the fact that you can see all the way through.
Yeah.
Both ways.
And it's like you could verbally hear someone through it. When you look at the peephole, like that we're used to with the fisheye lens and stuff, it feels so. This is still like me and you are having a conversation, whereas the peephole, be very quiet. There's not too much other than the fact that this is a really nice place. I should mention this is actually randomly on Google Maps. Like you can go on Google Maps and just rent this. And I thought that was strange. And there people have reviewed it and stuff like that. Apartment to be in Zagreb. I would highly recommend it. For the most part, I would highly recommend it. I really like it. We've got some couches and the world's that kind of TV. One of the cool things about this room is that they have these gigantic pictures, and we've been to all these places in one day. We went to all these places. That was really cool. Where am I going?
Bedroom.
Bedroom, okay. I turned the switches. This is the bedroom. We have a balcony, and I was going to show how they do the laundry, which I thought was kind of cool, but it's dark and rainy outside, so you gotta rent this place to find out about that.
Good news about the balcony, though. In the morning, sometimes there's a cat on the roof over there.
People feed it bologna.
Somebody's throwing it bologna.
Yeah. There were 3 cats on the roof this morning and 3 pigeons on the
Line.
on the line. Yeah.
Let's go into the kitchen, which I don't even know if I've been inside of.
Have you been in the kitchen?
I don't know.
So, Eric and I have been on the road for at least 4 months now, verging on 5. And I find looking at this kitchen, I'm homesick. And not homesick for Japan, homesick for a home. Like, kind of just I want to bake some stuff, and I want to cook some stuff on this thing, and I want to use all the little tools in here. But I have used none of them. I have even refrained from washing my own dishes. Those will get done tonight. But it's a nice little kitchen.
And kind of the weirdest place is the bathroom. First off, this is not so strange, but the light is outside the bathroom.
Gotta push down. European bathrooms are a conundrum to us. We don't understand what people are doing.
And it's got
What
nothing.
is this?
That's a urinal. You haven't been using it?
I'm not equipped, but I know what it is, but really they're just still chilling?
The deal is like, I know that this is for washing your bits, right? Like, I know it's a bidet. But I'm used to like a Japanese bidet that's built into the normal toilet, and you push a button and like some lasers happen and it pinpoints the spots and whoosh, and like everything becomes clean. This thing, like, let's look at this. I haven't turned this one on, so I hope it works the same as the last one. I don't get what you're supposed to do with your body here. like, I don't understand that the water is not, I'm not shaped sideways. Like, I don't need to clean my belly button, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how that is cleaning that. I haven't Googled it yet either, and I probably should. But like, the direction that the water is coming out here, it baffles me a little bit, and I'm wondering if this is just for ladies and it's not for men. Like, if it's not for the backside, it's only for the lady bits. But I mean, that would make sense. You could sit on it like this way, facing the wall, and like that. Is this too much? Like, have I gotten over the line?
No. I even have more to say.
Okay, what have you got to say? What have you got?
Why are we taking the poop from one area to another?
Well, is it for poop? That's the thing, maybe not.
Regardless, if it's for the girl, drippage people, drippage should not be moving from one to the other. And it should not be rotating. We should not be rotating. Now we're switching again.
No. Because I mean, you got your action, and then watch this. Just one foot. Boom, you're in. If it's for the,
You're in.
Yeah, you're in.
Okay, let me talk about this shower.
Okay.
This is really what bothers me. This wasn't surprising. It's surprising it's still here, but yeah. The shower is what surprises me. Why is this room completely open? So many bathrooms we've been into are void of shower curtains or void of any way to contain the water into the area where you're bathing. We have to sit down and bathe. Like, we're just sitting down and bathing. And there's nothing, I'm sorry, a shower should be done standing up. And it is, I don't know, I feel humanly degraded by having to sit in the tub and shower. So yeah, that's a big bummer. So that was one of the things where I was thinking, like, you know, I really do recommend it, but this is the part that I don't get it. I want a shower curtain, and yeah, I want to.
And there's no place to put the head thing. You have to hold it.
I think that's not Europe. I think that might be this apartment. Yeah, most of them have had somewhere to hang the shower head. So yeah, but you're gonna get water everywhere.
And the part about this that is not the strangest, this kind of the most surprising, something you would never see. When we were in the UK, they aren't allowed to have electrical plugs in a lot of the bathrooms because of like EU regulations and stuff, and like it's dangerous, like building code, stuff like that. But then you come here, and this bot here is the heating unit that is used for the heating of the water, and I think it might also heat the central radiation system, but I'm not sure. I know it definitely heats the hot water. And right now, I'm gonna grab this and then I'll hand it back to Katie. Right now, there's a flame. So there's just a flame burning at all times.
Keep holding it like that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then turn on the hot water.
Yeah, turn it on.
All right.
Go ahead. And then, like, instantaneously, the water gets super, super hot. Would you just get all wet?
Yeah, we need a shower curtain for this thing.
It's also got one of these old school flushers. I like this. Like, all the water is up here.
That's really
and then,
fun.
woo!
And another thing that we've been wondering, what's this thing?
I think that thing is a heater.
I think I was having a think about it as well, and I thought maybe you could put your wet clothes in here and you just turn that on, because the other day I did the laundry in here and they told me not to put the laundry outside because they don't have everything fully done. So they told me to do the laundry inside, and I decided I was going to turn on the heat so that things would be warm and dry the clothes quickly, but that meant the entire apartment was warm, and oh my gosh, it was warm. Really good heating in this place. But I think maybe you could turn that on.
But she specifically told us not to turn that thing on. So maybe it's a problem with it.
Well, I'm glad
it
I
doesn't
didn't
work.
think about it then.
Yeah, so we didn't turn that. We didn't even try.
We didn't do that.
All right, so this is our last day in Zagreb. What was your favorite thing in Zagreb? What did you like?
Why basketball?
You like the basketball game when you said too?
But I know that basketball could be done anywhere. The top of that church was really cool. The one with the coat of arms for different areas in Zagreb, and just that really beautiful church, and kind of just the atmosphere is really good. Yeah,
I think my favorite thing about Zagreb is just walking around. And when we got here, our host here told us, she was like, don't take the transportation or anything, just walk. It's a walkable city. And she was right. It's totally awesome. Walkable. It's really, really small for the most part. And you can walk around wherever you want. And it's safe. And it's really cool looking. And it's just relaxed. And I don't know, it was just a really cool place. And even though the outside of our building has got a bunch of graffiti on it, and that makes it look like it's kind of scary, it seems to me like they have like a graffiti problem, but they don't have like a crime problem. Like in the sense of like violent crime or people robbing you or anything. So it just becomes like a very cool place to just wander around. I'm trying to find light over here, and you're over here in a dark corner.
It's not pointed.
Oh, hey, look at
this is the church that I was talking about. So the artwork in here, I'm really happy with it because it actually makes me feel more in touch with the, there we go, more in touch with what I've seen and where I am. So even being in the apartment, I'm sitting here thinking about like, oh, I remember seeing that and being on the cobblestones and stuff like that. So yeah, I really do like this apartment, and I'm kind of bummed that we're leaving.
The overarching theme that we have been talking about is that this would be a cool place to hang out for
ghost stories?
Yeah, ghost stories. This is a cool place to hang out for a couple days, but it would be a really cool place to just like chill for a couple weeks. Like if you wanted to just have some like chill time and not like out doing a bunch of stuff, and we have times where that comes up.
Just like a place that you could go and
relax.
You know that there's good food outside. It's simple and easy to do the things that you want to do, because you could just go to the market and get a whole bunch of fruit, and that's really, really easy, and you could just stop and get a sandwich somewhere, and the people who run this place are smooth and nice and friendly and easy and funny. So yeah. I am bummed that we're leaving this place.
Yeah, we're not getting the opportunity. We don't have time right now, but we want to go explore more of Croatia. So, but yeah, I mean, it would definitely be a place that you could just chill. It'd be really, really cool.
Zagreb.
I'm a big fan of the city.
Never would have thought.
I mean, I didn't have any expectations. I knew nothing about what to think, and that's why I was so happy to come.
Starts with a Z. It's bound to be cool, I think is what I thought.
It's the only capital city that starts with a Z. I looked it up this morning.
We hope you enjoyed both of our videos from Zagreb. If you missed the first one, a link is down below. Next up, we rent a car and head to eastern Croatia, an area tourists don't often visit. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. Thanks to all our supporters on Patreon for making these videos possible. If you'd like to help us too, you can head to Patreon, there's a link below. Also, liking and commenting on this video tells YouTube's robots that you enjoyed it and helps our channel grow. Thanks!